Have you ever wondered what made the Sioux warriors legendary across the vast Great Plains? What secrets of courage, strategy, and resilience did they pass down through generations? Before we begin, subscribe to Native American Origins to uncover the lost wisdom and epic stories of the Sioux and other Native American tribes. Long before battles shaped their legend, the Sioux lived in harmony with the expansive plains, dense forests, and winding rivers that stretched across North America. Their survival depended on understanding the land, the migration patterns of buffalo, the rhythms of rivers, and the guidance of the stars above. The Sioux were a people whose lives intertwined with nature. Children learned to track footprints in the soil, read the direction of the wind, and anticipate weather changes. Warriors trained tirelessly, learning to ride horses with agility and precision, mastering the bow, spear, and tactics necessary for both hunting and defense. Women and elders contributed equally to the tribe's well-being. Women managed daily life, prepared food, and ensured clothing and shelters were ready for the harsh seasons. Elders preserved knowledge and traditions through storytelling, passing wisdom of the past to prepare future generations for survival and leadership. Sioux warriors were trained from a young age in observation, patience, and strategy. It wasn't enough to be strong or fast. A true warrior had to read the land and anticipate outcomes before taking action. Training often began with hunting exercises, learning animal behavior, tracking footprints, and silently approaching game. They studied how buffalo and deer moved, how they reacted to natural obstacles, and how to move without leaving a trace. These skills later translated into battlefield awareness, giving them unmatched strategic insight. Physical endurance was honed through daily exercises, long rides across plains, running in varied terrain, and practicing combat techniques. But the mental aspect was equally important. Warriors learned meditation and focus through vision quests, spending days alone in nature, fasting, praying, and seeking spiritual guidance for strength and clarity. Before a battle, Sioux scouts observed enemy movements with incredible precision. Every broken branch, displaced stone, and animal reaction was studied. Scouts memorized terrain features, paths, and seasonal changes, allowing them to predict enemy movements and devise tactical advantages. Communication among warriors relied on subtle signals, bird calls, horse movements, and hand gestures. Coordinated actions ensured the Sioux could strike with efficiency, often outmaneuvering forces that outnumbered them. Among the most famous accounts is the defense of the Sioux territory against a larger invading force. Outnumbered, the warriors used terrain and strategy to their advantage, channeling enemies into narrow valleys and ambushing with calculated precision. Stories recount acts of remarkable bravery. One warrior rescuing a child from danger, another guiding a wounded comrade across difficult terrain, and others making strategic sacrifices to protect the tribe. Each action required courage, intelligence, and unwavering commitment to community. Bravery for the Sioux was measured by responsibility, not aggression. Warriors were guided by a code of honor, emphasizing protection of the tribe, respect for opponents, and adherence to spiritual principles. Violence for its own sake was forbidden. Every battle was approached with respect, strategy, and mindfulness. Women's roles were integral. They prepared supplies, crafted clothing, and shared intelligence gathered from their surroundings. Elders ensured cultural values were maintained, connecting each battle or journey to ancestral traditions and spiritual practices. Even during periods of unrest, the Sioux maintained daily life. Hunting and gathering, preparing ceremonies, and nurturing families created resilience. They celebrated successful hunts, shared stories around fires, and taught young members the skills necessary for survival and leadership. Connection with nature remained constant. Stars guided navigation at night, rivers indicated water sources, and seasonal changes dictated community activities. Respect in the environment was not only a spiritual practice, it ensured food security, shelter, and the continuity of the tribe. The Sioux integrated spiritual guidance into their daily and military life. Before major battles or hunts, warriors performed purification rituals, seeking clarity and protection from spiritual entities. Ceremonial dances, prayers, and offerings reinforced their connection to the land, the buffalo, and the Creator. Vision quests taught patience, observation, and introspection. Warriors returned with renewed focus and understanding, enhancing decision-making in the most critical moments. Spirituality wasn't separate from daily life. It was a guiding principle that shaped strategy, ethics, and community cohesion. Sioux tactics relied heavily on mobility, intelligence, and teamwork. Horseback riding allowed rapid movement across the plains, while knowledge of terrain provided natural camouflage. Ambushes were planned with attention to detail. Wind direction, line of sight, and environmental conditions all factored into every maneuver. Tracking was another essential skill. Warriors could interpret footprints to determine size, speed, direction, and even intent of both animals and humans. Scouts often traveled long distances ahead of the main force to gather intelligence, ensuring that battles were waged with insight rather than recklessness. Generations passed down tales of individual heroism and collective resilience. These weren't just stories. They were lessons in ethics, leadership, and survival. Elders told of scouts guiding entire villages through blizzards, warriors protecting sacred sites, and acts of cunning that outwitted more numerous foes. Young members learned from these accounts, internalizing the strategies, values, and courage of their ancestors. This oral tradition ensured continuity of knowledge and reinforced the importance of unity, preparation, and respect. The Sioux legacy lives on in cultural practices, ceremonies, and stories. Their approach to warfare, community, and environment illustrates a philosophy where intelligence, respect, and courage coexist. Each legend embodies lessons that remain relevant: careful observation, strategic thinking, and harmony with the natural world. If you value these forgotten stories and ancient wisdom, subscribe to Native American Origins, share this video, and continue exploring the bravery, intelligence, and spirit of the Sioux and other native tribes. Because some legends are not merely history.